Hey everyone, it's Bonnie Branham with Whimsical Art Painting Parties, and I'm excited that you will be joining us to watch us paint tonight. I hope you've had a good day. We've had a busy day, and we are excited to paint something new with you tonight. This is a pattern that Bethany made, and she didn't feel like painting tonight, so I'm going to paint it. And I was just wondering if you sign on, would you please say hi so we'll know that you're here. And it's not any fun if everybody doesn't join and talk with us. So we have this kitchen mixer, and I think it looks pretty. I think everyone has seen these. I have one on my kitchen counter. And if you have one, please tell me. Say hey, and tell me if you have a countertop kitchen mixer. And you can even tell me what brand and what color you have.
Latoya says, hey Bonnie, I'm super excited to see the mixer.
Well, thank you. Bethany drew this using her silhouette. So I am borrowing her patterns, and she's had a headache for the last few days, and she didn't feel like painting tonight. So she's taking it easy, and I'm excited to paint this.
So it's just me and you?
I think it's going to be fun. It's just me and Mike, and I was just kind of waiting around for a few more people to join in, and they can begin seeing what we're going to be doing. If you have a color that I have a color in mind, and I'm planning on doing. You've seen the pretty colors that they come in. I have a red one. My mixer is red, but when I look on, when I Google kitchen mixers, there are lots and lots and lots of colors, every color. And I wanted to do one in blue, and so I was doing it in the Key West.
Hey Latoya.
Oh.
Here we go.
I got my hair up my ponytail, and my hair's finally gotten long enough to have a ponytail. You know what I forgot? Oh, there. I need one of those. I can probably use a fresh one.
Yeah, where they at?
They're in the second drawer. I mean, yeah, maybe. No, over here in this cabinet. Okay. And so I came from yoga here back home, and I had my hair in a ponytail. So it's weird to have long hair. I've had short hair for 15 or who knows, 20 years, and I decided I'd grow it out. But anyway, I'm using Key West, this light blue, unless you happen to have a preference, except red. I didn't bring the red over. But I saw some pictures online of people who make decals for their mixers to decorate them. So I'm going to put some flowers on mine. And I really thought about making it plaid and then adding flowers, but that's a lot.
Shannon's watching and says, can't wait to see what you do with it.
This is inspired by Shannon. We asked her one day, is that Shannon Reynolds? Yeah. I asked her one day, what should we paint? What do you think, Shannon? Should I paint it light blue in the Key West? It'll look like this color. And I'm going to add some flowers to it. But since you told us to do this, Shannon,
she can pick the color.
You can pick the color. You can tell me what's best. Although I like this color.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this over so I can see. You like the blue?
Yes, she said I like it.
Well, it'll be pretty. It'll be a pretty color. I had to pull up a picture to see where all the silver parts are, because there will be silver.
0836.
Oh no, don't tell the world.
Well, what's your mixer password?
Okay. Let me see. It went off. Oh, there it is. It's back. Okay. I wish that would stay on.
Mm-hmm.
So this little part here is silver, and this little part's blue. So I'm going to start painting right here so I can block in the colors that I want it to be. And I'm just going to drag it across the straight line and then fill this in.
Hey, Allison.
And I think it's going to be a pretty,
welcome tonight.
A pretty one. I made a pattern.
You get to see the first strokes.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Allison. Allison's like our little fan club. I always love to see her come on. Mike actually made another pattern today. He's not ready to show it and reveal it, but he did one, and I did a different pattern too. I made something that's very different from anything I've done before.
You may get to see them one of these Tuesday or Thursday nights.
Well, mine is going to be for sure. I don't know. I'm just not ready to show it. Well, I haven't painted it yet. I'm only working on the drawing it. So tell me, what color is your mixer? Do you have a red one like I do? Or do you have a black one or a silver one?
Hey, Melba.
Hey, Melba.
Latoya says she has a cheap handheld one.
Well, honestly, mine is, you know, there's lots of different ones. Mine's the cheap one. It has a stand, but it's not the KitchenAid. It's the Walmart aid. I don't know what its brand is, but
the lines, Melissa Hall asked if the lines are already drawn on or you cut them in. They are. The pattern is drawn on.
They're not cut in. Like, are you talking about like the laser cutters? Mine are just drawn on. We don't have a laser cutter. That's another dream for another day.
The Allison says hers is black, and Shannon's is mint.
Oh, this isn't far from the mint green. It's if I had known Shannon, I would have done that. I would have made it a mint green. But I like this. Is probably one of my favorite colors right here.
Shannon said, did you see the new white bowls that KitchenAid released a couple weeks ago? I've not seen them.
No, I didn't. Are they all white? I've not seen them.
Melissa said hers is Walmart aid.
Yeah, that's mine. Because honestly, and Mike said...
Actually, I think maybe in JCPenney aid.
Mine's a JCPenney aid.
I think that's where
I don't bake enough to justify, although I'd like to have it sitting on my counter to make it look like I do. I'm not a baker.
It actually had a handheld mixer.
Yeah, I have a handheld too, Latoya. It came with it. And I do get that a lot because there's less to clean up. But if I'm baking a lot of cookies or something, then I'll use my stand one. Mike's gonna go check out what the name of the product is. It works. It doesn't have any of those fancy attachments like the KitchenAid does. Of course, if KitchenAid wants to send us one, we'll talk about it on our...
Yeah, we'll advertise them. We'll show a picture of it.
Yeah. I'll even bake brownies with using it. But wouldn't that be a pretty color? I think, oh, I know this is a color. This is one of the colors.
Where's your phone?
It's attached to
oh.
that cord in front of you.
Well, obviously. Shannon said she was going to text you. I went and looked for my phone, but I don't think I'll...
Text Bethany, Shannon. Mine is hooked up to the...
It probably will come through.
Mine,
Yeah.
well, yeah, if you send it on the link to the video, but if you're sending it as a text, I can't get it right now. But if you put it in the comments, we can see it, and everybody can see it. So, what's your favorite thing to bake? And what's your favorite thing to use your mixer for? Because some of them have lots and lots and lots of attachments. And you can use it to do other things. It's so quiet.
Now your bowl is going to be
Silver.
silver. Okay.
Yep. Shannon, was the white bowls like this? Like that they go in the under the mixer?
She said it's a white textured ceramic.
I bet that's pretty. You know I like dishes.
One thing I did not do on this pattern when I cut it out, I did not cut out the handles. So
The what?
where the handles are,
Yeah,
I didn't.
saw that.
I didn't cut that part
Well,
out.
I'll have to talk to quality control about that.
I may have to go back after you finish painting it and cut the holes for the
Bethany,
handle.
what's this part here? Is this a part? What? This here.
I don't cook.
I think that was supposed to be cut out all the way down to there and here. So we'll probably have to
Yeah,
work on
I've
this
got
one.
some additional.
I don't think this was supposed to be over
I
here.
don't know what the design looks like.
I'm looking at the pattern and
Where is it?
well, the big pattern,
It's
the
right
paper
here. This
pattern
part,
is here, but I'm looking at an example.
this
Yeah,
part
that's
here was supposed to be cut out.
And this is supposed to be cut all the way to here and all the way around here. Oops.
I'll
Just
have to.
pretend that that's already cut.
Yeah,
we'll still
pretend.
get the same effect.
Yeah, we'll show the finished product
Sorry.
next Tuesday with everything cut out. Yeah, Shannon says it's hard to find good people.
I know.
Good help is hard to find.
I know. If I hadn't gone to yoga, I could have been here instructing.
Yep.
But, you know, I gotta get in shape. I like it. But it does make a difference in what it looks like. You see, all of this was the pattern of it. But it's dark outside, so we can't fix that right now.
Mm-hmm. And what color are you going to measure? Do your measuring cup?
That's a good question. I haven't got there yet. I don't know. Any suggestions? Just, I'm assuming just a clear kind of white, pearly, gray.
This is first time painting this this pattern, so
Okay. This is
live TV.
This may be crazy, but I don't think it will. I think it'll turn out okay. You just have to know that those little areas didn't get cut, but they will. It's really going to be an easy enough pattern. It's not going to be too hard.
And being a decorative mixer instead of a functional mixer, you can take some liberties. some creative liberties.
You know,
Because
you
I
could,
think that this one's going to have some flowers on it too.
you could, well, the functional ones do too.
Yeah.
You could put, you know, Grandmama's Kitchen. You could write that on it. Or you could put a recipe. Well, not a recipe, but I don't know. What would you write on it, folks? Would you write something on there? So, I feel like I've got paint on me already. Okay, I'm going to add in that silver band at the top. And I don't want to get myself in the paint. I'm going to put a silver band using granite gray. And I'm going to change paintbrushes. I didn't get around that edge there. But I'm going to paint in a little straight line. And if you don't do straight lines very much or don't like to do that, you can put tape on it and that'll help it stay straight. You have to wait for your paint to dry before you can, very dry before you can put that tape on. But if you want a good straight line, if you can't paint a straight line, sometimes I can and sometimes not so much.
Thank you for liking and reacting to our page. Share it and so your friends can also tune in. And make a comment so we'll know that you're there.
Please say hey. Please say hi and tell us what kind of appliance you have. What kind of mixer do you have? Do you have a blue one like this one, or do you have a red one like mine?
Hey Patricia, is it Lierop? L-I-E-R-O-P?
Patrice.
Patricia. Patricia.
Oh, it's...
Yeah, I think I got that right. She asked if we sell
yes,
templates.
we do sell patterns.
We don't have them all up on our website. We've got several new ones, and this one's not up there yet. But you can send us a message on our Facebook page, and we'll send you some information.
We do have this. We do have this in block poster, so we can send it digital. Some of ours are not on digital because I drew them on paper, and I don't have them on digital pattern anyway on the computer, other than I've drew it out by hand and I can trace you one. And we just mail those. But this one we do. Bethany's already put it together on block posters, so we can do that for you. If you would like, just leave a comment and I'll check back with it and see if I can get you one made. And I'm going to paint the mixing bowl silver. And I'm gonna, ooh, I got some bubbly paint up there at the top where I got too much.
Hey Eve, Elise. Elise says, I love the mixer.
Oh, thanks, Elise. Tell Shannon, that's her, that was her idea. She was over visiting one night and one afternoon, and we asked her, what can we do next? Because when you're trying to come up with something twice a week, I run out of ideas. And she said a mixer.
Yeah.
You know, mixers didn't cross my mind. Because I'm not the baker girl. But I like this. It'd make a good Mother's Day gift. With grandmama's kitchen. I'm a grandmama.
Hey, Martha.
Hey, Martha.
Welcome to Whimsical Art Painting Parties.
You and Melba are watching. My sisters are watching tonight.
All of some of our Tennessee family is too busy to watch tonight. They've got a new grandbaby.
Yeah. Oh, they may be sitting around watching us, you know, in the hospital room.
Awesome.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So it could be Nana's mixer. Martha's Nana.
Elise says, I love the color.
Ah, thank you. It's called Key West.
Hey, Sonia. Glad you could tune in
Hey,
tonight.
Sonia. Y'all see Sonia? She's our Whimsical Wednesday painter. She is a good painter and a fun hostess. So tell her hi and congratulations.
Yep, you can see what Sonia painted, and those that were guests, their pictures are actually, that was last weekend's
Yep, that was
party.
Saturday.
So these are some new pictures that she and her friends did.
It was a birthday party.
Turned out great.
Don't forget to paint the edges first. Don't have to go back and paint blue and gray and all around. That takes up, it's frustrating when you forget and you gotta go back and get the other paint colors if you've already finished. So I got them.
Miss the spot right there.
Almost. Not quite. Well, are y'all glad tomorrow's Friday? The end of the week? Anybody got big plans for this weekend?
I think here it's supposed to be clear Saturday.
That'd be good.
So for some outdoor activities and yard work.
Yep. All right. So
Probably on
I'm
our
gonna let
agenda.
that dry. See a few places that need a little heavier coat. When you're painting, smooth your paint strokes out. The longer your stroke, the less brush strokes you see. And don't put so much paint that you have bubbles of paint because it doesn't dry well. And you can't smooth it out then. So long strokes, and you don't want a dry brush. I see more people afraid to put too much paint. There's usually it's hard to decide how much paint you need.
You were talking about edges a while ago. You didn't do that edge or that edge over there.
Oops. On which side?
Yeah, look, the other side.
Oops. It's good to have somebody helping you so you can not miss those little spots. Ooh, it's so cute.
I think everybody, Allison, has ball games. They're playing, everybody's now beginning to play soccer too, so it's kids are entering the busy season. Allison says her nephew has two games.
Oh, yeah, our grandkids started playing soccer, and I think they have games this weekend. Why did I
What
do
you
that
doing?
for?
Look at you.
Oh,
All right, you get to see what you do when you make a mistake. Bonnie's a racer.
I hope I'm an eraser, because I just painted blue and gray right where I was supposed to put the blue. I happened to put blue right beside gray, and I shouldn't have done that in the first place, because the rest of it's open. But anyway, you walk it off as much as you can and get it off the wood. And that took care of it. So usually I can fix it. What kind of an ASMR microphone? I don't know what that is.
This so they can hear the calming paintbrush stroke sounds. Said this is so relaxing.
I don't know about that. It is relaxing. A lot of people say that they watch because it's calming.
I think it does
soothing.
have some therapeutic effects.
Unless you mess up and then you're like, ah, what did I do that for? All right, I fixed that little bobo that I did just now. And I found some more edges that I didn't paint. But painting is, we try to make it as stress-free as possible. And we help make sure your project is not too difficult for you, and we help you get through we always say that there's 3 parts. There's the, oh, this is so fun, and then you start adding different layers and trying to do the shading and stuff, and we try to help you get through that part without it causing you too much stress, because it does get harder in the middle, and then you come back to the easier part of putting in the final touches, and people are like, this was so fun.
I can do this.
I loved the way people, I've really enjoyed teaching people how to do this, because they find that they have a talent that they don't know they have. And it's kind of like color book painting. We draw a pattern and you add in your details. So it's kind of a relaxing experience. They don't, you're not drawing without a pattern.
Yeah. You can color in a coloring book. You probably can do a door handle.
Probably can do this. Does that have gray on it?
Yeah, don't forget which color you're painting.
Hey, Shelly. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. How's the bunny rabbits coming along? You have just come up with the perfect little bunny rabbits this year. I really enjoyed seeing what you did. Just getting in that little edges there. All right, I'm gonna wait on the measuring cup, and I'm gonna add another little layer of this blue. Again, it's Key West. If you want to paint something like this, I'm using Key West, but there's a ton of colors of mixers, so I'm not, it doesn't have to be blue or red. Because if you Google it, you'll see that there's a lot of them.
If y'all haven't done it already, you need to go check out Shelley Brim's site, her patterns that she's done. Just Saying Designs, I believe the name of it. So y'all check that out. She's got some cute stuff.
Yeah, she's got a really cute bunny. And Latoya. Latoya also has
Yes,
some cute
Latoya's
things.
got some cute stuff too. Shelley said that she's just booked a bunny party.
I want to go. Can I go to New York? Is it New York? I think she's in New York. What you going to New York for? Oh, I'm just going to paint bunnies with Shelley.
Yeah.
Times Square? No. There's too many people there. That would scare me. I don't know why. I went to Korea and there's only, how many millions?
It's probably comparable to New York City. Not as many, but
New York City's bigger, people-wise?
I think so.
I don't know. I know there was a lot of
You
people.
know, it's all, you know, you start looking at metropolitan area instead of just city limits, you know. I think the metropolitan area of Seoul is about 21 million.
Well, they're very orderly and they don't cause traffic issues.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to go. I can't wait.
Sonia says it's really, really fun. Y'all are the best peeps to hang around too. And the brownies.
Yes, at our parties we make brownies for our guests. If if your party is at our studio here at our house, we make brownies, and they're really just a mix, but they are so good. You need to try them. They're salted caramel brownies, and they're just a mix, but they are scrumptious. And we make brownies. Now, if we have a party and at a different location, then we don't bring the brownies. You have to bring your own then. But if you have your party with us, we make brownies, and I love hospitality, so
Yeah, Shelley, if I was going to visit New York, I would rather go to the farm country.
yeah, I would too.
But Bonnie has had a dream to go to Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I have. I've always wanted to do that since I was a little bitty girl. I remember when I was a little girl, I would start watching it. I would start watching the parade, and then I would go outside. We lived way out in the country, and
Don't forget to paint the bottom.
I had white go-go boots or something, some kind of, I was 8 years old. I had some sort of white boots, and I would go outside and march up and down the road like I was leading the parade. But we haven't ever made it that far north or northeast.
Well, when you go, you'll have to wear you some red boots.
They were white.
Oh, white boots, okay.
Grandma in her white boots. I think probably not. I'm not 8 anymore. Oops, I painted my shirt.
Yeah, and you don't have your apron on.
I don't have my apron on. But I'll try to get it off. You know, sometimes you can get it off with Dawn dishwashing liquid and rubbing alcohol. And give it a good scrubbing and it'll come right off. At least sometimes it does. Most of the time it does. Because I've painted everything I own, it seems like.
Shelley says I've we have a standing party every month at a restaurant. That's great.
That's a good idea. I've never, I've been to schools, Shelley, I've been to schools and churches, but I've not ever been to a restaurant. And we have a,
Well, we have been to a restaurant. We went to Atwood's.
oh, that's right, I forgot. We sure did. We did one at Atwood's Bakery. Sure.
It was great hostess.
Yeah.
And host.
It was a fundraiser for our grandson, and he was working there, and they allowed us to set up there.
And they supported the fundraiser very well.
Yep, they painted with us. All right, I'm just gonna leave that right there since I'm.
Yeah, that's an
Okay.
edge that.
You can kind of tell where the pattern runs.
If you're tuning in late, there's a few things that I didn't cut out when I was cutting this pattern. The handles of the mixing bowl and the mixing
The whole
cup
side right here
and the
was
edge
supposed to be off.
will not be on the pattern
All right.
when it's finished.
Now,
And we'll show the finished product with everything cut out of it next Tuesday night. If you remember.
or I'll post it, and you can see it before then.
Yeah, you can post
But-
a picture.
I'm going to start out with pink, and I'm going to make some roses. I always go back to roses. I just like roses. And I'm trying to decide which pinks I want to
Are
do.
you putting them on the mixer or
Yeah,
not on the mixing bowl?
no, they go on the mixer. Look, there's some on the well, those are just the real deal there, but
You had some other pictures of that had.
you can look at all those colors. You can do mint,
Yeah,
you can do
those are
pink.
cow,
Yeah, you can do a white and
black
cow,
and white
black
spots.
and white spots. Oh, there's mine. Look, it's that blue there. Okay, I'm going to do a little rose on it. Should I do it right up here?
Yes, Shelley, I do use a scroll saw and also a jigsaw on some of the pieces, particularly the cutouts for the handles and those kind of things. I usually use my jigsaw for that because you don't have to change out the blade. I just drill a hole, or if it's big enough, I just make a hole with the saw itself by tipping it on the edge. Some of these I pre-drill a hole big enough for the blade to go in and just use the jigsaw on.
I think I'm going to paint in a little leaf before I cover up all this the edge of it.
Shelley says the mixer will look like the Pioneer Woman's.
Yes, it does.
She uses hers a lot more than we use ours, I bet.
Probably so.
At least on the show.
I wish I had that. That was my. You know, some people paint for relaxation. Some people bake. I paint.
She makes some good stuff, that Pioneer Woman.
Yep. I'm so sorry. I can buy cookies down at Max at the grocery store. They're pretty good too.
Sonia asked how long you have been painting, and have you always been fond of art?
I have been fond of art probably since I was a child. I remember doing art projects, just doodling, and actually it's a funny little story, but I got a desk, and I don't know why I would do this, but I got a desk when I was a little girl, probably 10 years old maybe. I don't know how old it was, but I was a child, and I would cut out little bitty decorations, and I would decorate the front of that desk, the drawers, even when I was just probably 10, but not, I wouldn't say I was older than that. I could have been younger. What?
2 different colors pinks.
Yeah, you add
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 different colors. But anyway, that's the first I remember drawing off little bitty, like if it was Christmas, I would draw off little Christmas decorations, and I guess I would glue them or tape them. I don't know. I don't remember how I got them attached to it, but I would cover that drawer with decorations. But my real start to doing painting was when I was probably about 22 years old. I was about 22 years old, and I took a class at a church, and I learned how to toll paint. T-O-L-E. If you look that up, toll paint. It's brush strokes and decorative brush strokes, and you use those to do paintings. And okay, on this you make a, ooh, it's wet. I can't do that yet. I'll make another rose somewhere else. I gotta let that dry. Anyway, I learned toll painting when I was younger, and that's really the only, and that wasn't a formal education. That was a lady at a church who, I don't know what kind of training she had, but she taught toll painting for 6 weeks. And actually, I am going to do that myself in April. I'm going to have a private group that I teach, virtual party kind of thing. And I'm going to teach brush strokes and shading and highlighting.
Amy Price is tuned in.
Hey, Amy. Thanks for watching.
Amy's got a new baby, doesn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I know so. Yes.
I know so. I saw pictures.
Yeah. So that was my first lessons, and that was, that was a long time ago.
Well,
So,
it
yeah.
was before Michael was born.
At least 30, probably 36
5, 6
years ago. That was the only classes I ever took, and she taught us how to do brush strokes. And if you learn how to do brush stroke painting and highlighting and shading, you can pretty much paint forever just with that.
We used to, back in, after she took those classes, we kind of did the craft show thing for a while. I did wood cutouts, and Bonnie would paint decorative pieces, and we would set up at the various craft shows, and we enjoyed that. But then we got out of that, and I think Bonnie hung her brush up for a little while.
Yep, I didn't paint, but occasionally when I needed a gift, or just almost at all. I didn't paint for probably 20 years. I was busy with other things. And then I started seeing some of the other people doing these paint parties, and I found Tamara Bennett with southernadornmentdecor.com, and she was teaching people how to have paint parties and how to have that as a business. And I joined her group, and I've been painting ever since. That's only a year ago, but it had been a long time since we had been doing that, and I really enjoyed this year painting.
And I've been retired, and so this is kind of a duet project.
Yeah, Mike has helped. I mean, he he's very supportive, and he's in the middle of it. He's part of it. It's not, that pink is just struggling to get dry.
You may have to blow dry.
I'm going to take a look at it and see where else I should put one. I think I'll kind of put one offset to this side. I'll put one down there. I think I'm going to add some other flowers too. And there's other ways to make roses, and there's ways to make roses as part of toll painting. And they are very, very pretty roses. I used to do those all the time. Oh, thank you. Well, you know, Latoya, I think if you have a project together, we always jokingly say life is a project, and we have found happiness in doing things together like that. We do church together. He supports what I do. I support what he does. I've done whatever he did just so that we could do it together. If he was playing golf, I played golf. If he went to basketball games, even refereeing, I would go and watch. That is never fun when your husband's the referee and you're sitting in the, nah, that's not a good place to be.
Nobody likes
The
cheers for the
referee is
referees,
not
do
the,
they?
the referee's not the fan. I mean, they're the
Not
perfect.
many fans of the referees.
But we've just always done things together, and
Hello, Renee.
I enjoy his company. And
Welcome once again to Whimsical Art. Renee Perez.
hey, Renee, thanks for watching. Somebody at the line.
Kay Griffin Landrum said hey.
Hey, Kay, thanks for watching tonight. So my recommendation is, you know, just to do things together. I mean, I'm sure there's things that we've just always enjoyed doing things together. It's, you know, we've remodeled houses together. We've remodeled a camp together. We just have enjoyed doing stuff that, you know, I've just always enjoyed doing what he is doing, and so it was only natural to, he likes to do woodwork, so this certainly fit with that. I didn't know he could paint until about a month ago, and he decided he could do that too. I'm not putting a ton of roses close together. Who's that?
Dion Ray.
Danny and Dion.
Mhm.
Dion. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I was looking through. I was Googling the colors of these today, and I found somebody had made decals to go on their, let's see, where's the cutout going to be? I don't want to get into it. They had made decals to go on their mixers. And that, of course, you know, like we said earlier, Reed Drummond has these flowers on her mixers. She's got different flowers on hers. But you could also order decals to put on yours, like vinyl.
Crystal Carmack said enjoy your live videos.
Well, thank you, Crystal.
Aaron Guidry has joined us.
Hey, Aaron, my dear friend.
And Sonia asked, "What did you paint, Mr. Mike?" Well, I'm not ready to reveal.
Tonight, I mean the one he painted today, or the one he's painted. He painted a real pretty sunflower.
She
And
saw that, I think, when she was here.
who said that?
Sonia.
Oh, okay.
I
No, I
painted,
may not have shown her.
I painted today a rusty wagon, a child's wagon with 2 pots of Gerber daisies in the back, and it's a work in progress. But
No, he's not finished with it.
I'm not finished with it. I'm still working on the.
We got to work on the rusty a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Rusty is not a paint color. They don't give you that.
It's a technique.
Yeah. But
I'll
I'm
teach you
working
how to
on
do it,
I'm working
okay?
on that. Melissa Hall asked about the wood. What we use, Melissa, is the 1/4 inch revolutionary ply.
It's revolution ply.
Revolution ply.
I thought it was a revolutionary.
Yeah.
All these,
Revolution
but
ply.
it's revolution.
But we get it locally at
All right, I think this is dry. I'm gonna turn it back
at
around.
Lowe's. Comes in a 4x8
That is some
sheet.
tough to dry paint. I think I'm
And
gonna go
that's,
up a color.
We've done a little bit of cutting with some other materials, but we've kind of found that that's
I
the one
prefer
that
the one. Yeah, I
we like
prefer
the
the.
most.
All right, I'm gonna add another layer of Diva Pink to these flowers, and I make a comma to the left and a comma to the right.
I'm gonna zoom in on
I
some
may
of
have to dry them. I don't know why they're.
your roses.
So once you have your comma to the left and your comma to the right, it makes like a little smile, like lips.
I'm
like
gonna
a little
adjust the
smile.
camera a little bit to where you can.
Then I go in between those two and I start there with another. And I go round and round and round and round. And they're kind of smiley faces, or I had someone the other day say they were like little smiles. And can you see that? This one.
Can y'all
So
see that pretty
You
good?
go left, you make your curve to the left, and you make a curve to the right. And then in between those two, I put another one, and then I just start from there making little commas. And you go all the way around the flower. And there's other ways to do roses. This is a very quick and simple way. So you make a comma to the left, a comma to the right, and then on top of that one you start another comma, and you just keep doing commas all the way around it, like the petals unfolding. And there's two more layers of this, so you don't stop with that. You put 3 or 4 layer of color. Sometimes they don't go exactly where you meant them to go. But you want a circular motion all the way around it so that you get that
Hey, Marilyn.
petally look. Hey, Marilyn. We had all kinds of Branhams on here the other day. All right, and then back on top, back on the bottom. You know, you can do it like that. You can put one on that side, one on this side, and then 2 on each side. Or you can just start going around the circle. And to make that comma, you press your brush down, twist, and come up till your brush comes to a complete point. And so one end of it is wide and rounded, and one end is just the very tip end of your paintbrush. So there's your to the left, to the right, and you put one on top, one on bottom, round and round you go.
And around and around.
I'll teach you how to make roses, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I could. Somebody can.
Carla is tuned in, says hi, Bonnie.
Hey, Carla. How are y'all tonight? What you been painting? All right, that was Diva Pink. So I've got Pink Parfait, and then a little darker is Diva Pink, and then I'm gonna put Fuchsia. And Fuchsia is magenta, fuchsia, you know, it's a bright, actually I think Diva Pink is, no, it's a brighter one, but it's not darker. And then in between those, you can go in between your things, in between your petals, and add these. You don't want to completely cover up the ones you've already placed. So you don't have to go round and round in the same places. That one's not a very good one. That one's lighter, actually. I thought it was a darker color, but I'm actually going to go and put in flamenco red, just to, it'll be more of a shadowy part of it. It won't be as, it won't have it all the way around.
Karen Bates says hi. I'm late again.
Hi, Karen.
Better late than never.
You're
Glad
never
you tuned
late.
in.
You just start where you are.
Go back.
And go back and watch the rest later.
Yeah, you can tune in and.
I'm glad you're watching. How's things in Texas? What you been painting lately?
Carla said hi to the technical guy too. I'm
Carla,
not very technical, but I kind of make a few adjustments here and there.
Yeah, I forgot to draw the pattern off correctly, and so he cut it just like it was drawn, but we've got to go back and work on our, see this darker red, how it, you know, it'll bring out the shapes better. Flamenco red, it's a really pretty color. So I'm just putting a little bit here and there, nothing, not all the way around and around like we did with the other colors, but just in between the petals, just to give it a shadowy look, so you can, like it's layered, like it's unfolding. And I think I'll put a little bit right in the middle of that one. So I don't even have to reload my, well, I do. I started to say I didn't have to reload my brush, but it was not as much on my brush as I thought.
You don't know what you're going to do on the words or anything like that. We're taking suggestions on what to put on maybe the side of the mixing bowl, or
Yeah, you could write something right there.
Yeah.
Or not at all. Everything doesn't have
it
to
could be
that way.
personalized. We talked about Grandma's kitchen. or Mom's kitchen, or Nana's kitchen, or whatever the grandkids call you, kitchen.
I have one that calls me grandmother, and one that all the rest of them call me grandmama. But he named me himself. All right, and then I'm going to add white on top of those colors.
Melissa Hall says, "What's cooking good looking?"
I like that.
I like that too. For those of you that that maybe have tuned in late, there are some of the white places that you see on the pattern that is actually going to be cut out.
Yeah.
The handle
and
the handle, and then there's a
And
place on the
actually
mixer
right
that's actually
here
going to be cut out.
is all the way down to here. But I didn't draw that in, and it didn't get cut. So
This is a brand new pattern that I hadn't cut before, and Bonnie hadn't painted before.
and I wasn't home.
And she wasn't home when I cut it, so I didn't get all of it cut out right. So I've got some work to go back and do. And
But it's a cute one. I like it. Bethany made it.
yeah, this is one of Bethany's projects, and she's a little bit sickly tonight. She's kind of got a headache, so she's not online with us tonight.
We had fun with her Tuesday night. She painted.
Yeah, we had dual brushes Tuesday night.
So you just place these where you think a little highlight ought to be. There's no rhyme or reason to where, but you don't cover it. You try not to cover up the petals that you've already made. You just look for a place that's kind of got the background color where I drew in the petal, the shape to begin with. All right, and I think I need to paint this thing. What should I do about this? There,
The measuring
is that
cup.
yeah, I like this color. Where is? Go look
I
for.
don't think that's different enough from
Go look for China blue.
China blue.
China blue is kind of a thin. It's a transparent looking color. I mean, I could do it silver like the other,
This is China blue.
but I'm trying to give it a glassy look, not a silver aluminum.
Melissa said we could also put on or baked with love.
Oh, that would be cute.
That's on my iPad.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna try this. If I don't like it, I'm gonna take it off. But I'm looking for something that'll give me a clear sort of look, a pale color.
Yes, Carla, she's asking about offering a template for the mixer. We do have a template that's brand new that Bethany's just designed. We've not got it on our site yet.
We have whimsicalartpaintingparties.com, and it'll be on there hopefully tomorrow, and you can order it. Some people had trouble ordering a pattern from us the other day. If you're using an iPhone, if you're using a phone, if you have trouble with it, not being able to go to PayPal, then you may have to use a laptop, a desktop or laptop computer. But we will have that on there tomorrow. If you want one that's cut out and we do send paper copies for $10.
Mm-hmm.
But if we send a digital copy, it'll be $5. Actually, it's $10 plus postage.
It's, postage is usually less than $2.
$3. I like that. Can you tell that's...
That is enough different color that it looks like a measuring cup.
I was trying to make it kind of glassy looking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just mixing a little bit of China blue with white.
Yeah, I like that.
And it has some little measurements on the edge. Let me get something small so I can go around this outer edge without running off the page.
Now, Carla, you can send us an instant message tomorrow or something, or if you can't log on and get it off of the website.
Bethany, if she's up, she can fix it. But I think she went to bed.
Yeah, I think she did.
She's been fighting with a migraine for about a week now. Coming and going. Alrighty, I like that. And like we said, this is going to be cut out, so I did not.
Yeah, you have to imagine that not being there.
I didn't put a petal down there, a leaf down there. This is a pattern as I'm going along. I do not have this made into a pattern other than the shape. The roses are just coming along as we go.
Yeah, it's a blank slate.
So one flower that I like to make, and this I'll teach also in my class. I'm going to I want the cobalt blue.
Cobalt blue.
I got this little gopher that runs and gets my paint.
Cobalt hue.
What? I never noticed that. It's called cobalt hue. That's funny. I never saw that
I
was.
just thought it was cobalt blue.
I did. Hue. H-U-E. Well, that was very observant of me. I'm going to try this on some practice paper because I don't know if I like that color with this, but it would make such a pretty flower.
You want something to practice on?
I'll just put it here. So you press it down and you twirl it all the way around. Do you think that'll be okay with this?
What are you going to do?
I want to make a little flower.
A flower on it?
But I wanted it to be blue.
All right.
Or I could do it yellow.
I think you could do it blue.
Well, we'll see. So you press it down and you twirl it all the way around. And then you do that again. You turn it all the way around. Again, these are brush strokes that I learned 36 years ago. Twist it, make another stroke, and you do that again. And you've got this cute little round petals, 5 petals.
Can y'all see that okay?
So when that is dry, then I will go back and add a center of yellow. And I'm going to make another one on this side. You press it down and you twirl it You come back up. You press it down, twirl it, and come back up. So you don't always have to draw a pattern out. You press it down, twirl, and come back up. You bring it back up to the end of the paintbrush. What is that called? The chisel? The
Tip?
no, it's the tip, but it has a name.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll put the one right here.
Carla says, I love that color.
I do too. It's really pretty. It is so bold. And I've used it. I've painted some crosses at Christmas using this with a manger scene in the middle. And it was like a starry night. And it really was a pretty color.
Tammy Carter is asking what color of the blue.
It's cobalt hue. H-U-E.
Hold it up where you can.
Apple
let me get the camera on it. Apple barrel, cobalt hue.
See if the others would say that. I have never noticed that it said cobalt hue.
I never either.
I thought it was cobalt
Melissa
blue.
said it looks like a violet, maybe.
It's very blue. It's not purpley.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put one right here. So I twirl my brush. You roll it in your fingers like that. You roll it in your fingers. And do that. And you just start at the end of that roll, you make another one. And then, I like that. It's coming together. I don't know what it's going to end up
Melissa
being.
said the flower looks like a violet. Yeah.
Yeah. It does. It's kind of a violet look with those petals. I love to find, and I post a lot of tutorials. They're not mine, but I find them on Pinterest, and I post quite a few. And they're just brush strokes that I've found, and they are.
Carla said she has that color and never noticed it was hue either. So.
Isn't that funny? When he said that, I was like, no, that's not hue. But it's, I sometimes it's hard to find. All right, and when that's dry, I'm gonna go back. I think I'll add some little yellow flowers now.
Melissa says it's definitely Pioneer Woman with those colors.
Well, I promise you, I did not look at hers because I didn't want to be accused of copying. But it is.
We are fans.
We are, and we are inspired. Maybe I can say that. I was inspired by hers.
I don't think I've ever seen her mixer, but I've seen her show, and she cooks up a lot of good looking food.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna put two little, and these are just little circles, just making little round circles.
Zoom back in and
nothing. Not even really a brush stroke. You're just kind of moving your brush into a circle, 5-pointed circle. Although today I found one that is it was really cute. It had lavender, how to paint lavender, stems of lavender. I would like to learn that one. I'll have to use it sometime. But
yes, Allison, she did miss a spot in the top middle one.
where?
Top middle blue one.
Yeah, at first I wasn't going to fill them in. I was just going to let that be my yellow.
She is going to go back and put some spots, I think, in
I'll go ahead and fix that. so that
Very observant, Allison.
I love
Very
it.
good.
I hate to watch somebody and they miss it and nobody tells them. So I'm going to put 3 in this one because one of our friends taught us that we never should have a even number of, that it needs to look like it was not so symmetrical. And then I'm going to use some of this before I turn it around. I'm going to use the King's Gold. It's a dark gold, darker yellow, but it's very dark. And I'm just going to tap, tap, tap and put some of that in the middle of that to make my little center. And that's basically what I'm going to do to this. I'm just going to go tap, tap, tap. And I think I'll dip a little bit of, not blue. I ran into the only little puddle of blue. I'm going to put some little white dots in it so that it'll have a little bit of texture there. It just needs to have a center. And I may go back before it's over and put some white and black speckles to that. But here's these others. And just put a little yellow gold, King's Gold, in the center of it. I didn't put a leaf on that one.
Like you say, it's not symmetrical.
Ken said don't put things symmetrical. That they're not symmetrical in nature. And then a little bit of the King's Gold in the center. And a little bit of the King's Gold in the center of this one. And I'm just tapping it. I don't have a, you don't want it to be totally round. And I'll come back and add a little bit of color in that. What's your favorite flower? Do y'all have flower gardens? Do you plant flower gardens every year or vegetable gardens? I think our favorite flower is a daylily. Mike loves to plant daylilies.
Yep, I can't wait for May.
The favorite flower, I think the most fun thing we ever planted was zinnias. Remember that year we planted zinnias out by the road?
Mm-hmm.
And we had the biggest crop of zinnias, and they were California Giants was the name of them. And people would stop by our house and visit with us to see the zinnias because it reminded them of their grandmother. And we had so many zinnias that year. If somebody stopped by, we would give them a bouquet to take with them. But I guess with zinnias, eventually I don't know, they got some kind of, they get mold real easily. Something like that. It's some kind of mildewy thing.
Yeah, we probably didn't have a good enough spraying regimen.
And so we haven't been able to grow them again like that.
Melissa says she loves hibiscus.
Oh, I do too. I do. I actually planted 2 from last year that were still in a pot. I just planted them. I don't know if they're alive. I'm not sure if they're alive. They were still. They didn't have any.
I didn't see any new growth.
I didn't see any new growth, but they were still soft and bendable.
Yeah.
So hopefully they're just not. I mean, they looked pretty bad.
A few years ago, we had some real nice ones. The big plate, they were like 10-inch flowers, and then we had some Texas Star hibiscus that were real pretty. They were both red, but I don't think unless this one comes back that we got, we don't have any.
Put just a little bit of black in these.
Back this year.
Especially in these. I just want them to have a tiny, oh, that one's got some blue speckles in it. I forgot to put the gold in the middle. Now help me out. Tell me if I missed them. All right. I'm going to let that be all the flowers. And I'm going to work on this and give it the outline that it needs.
Carla says she goes to Home Depot and buys the pots of flowers every year to place them around her back porch and hang them.
Yeah.
And all those, I do have a hibiscus trying to come back. Well, that's good.
Well, hopefully that's what ours is doing.
That's one thing I like about growing daylilies, that they really are very hardy, and they multiply quickly. So I give away some every year. People stop by and I just dig them up because you have to thin them out on a pretty regular basis. So if somebody local needs some daylilies for the springtime, send them my way. I've got some that needs to be thinned. I'm doing a commercial break for daylilies while Bonnie goes and gets some more supplies. So she will be right back.
I'm here. I just ran to get my paintbrush.
Here she comes.
Sorry. My paintbrush, my outline brush was in the kitchen. So, all right. I'm going to outline this with
Mixer
some black.
Cup.
Yeah, the mixing bowl, the cup, the measuring cup.
And remember, I'm going to be cutting that out.
Don't cut my outline off. Now, the main thing is I've got measurements on this side.
Yeah.
I need to write those back in, but it don't matter. Ooh, this brush has been sitting in the water. My fingers aren't working anymore. I have bloopers. I don't want a heavy line. Alright, I see one line right there. Right there. And I painted over the rest of it, so we're gonna wing it.
That looks good.
Was there any other? Nope, there's nothing else on it. And just to put a little outline there. Because we have to have some sort of outline around the whole thing. I'm going to draw this in so you can see how it looks, even if you do cut some of it off. That's how you're supposed to cut it down to here. This will come out and then down to there, and you'll come all the way to here.
Yeah, that's an imaginary line.
If not,
Welcome, Marilyn. Glad you could join us this evening.
Hey.
Hope you enjoyed your dinner as a family, or your supper.
I'm going to outline this. I may just outline that with a. And when you're outlining, if you'll get your paint wet, kind of ink consistency, it helps it to flow off better, and it makes you have a better chance of a straight line. You don't want too much. I think I have left that paintbrush sitting in the water, or it didn't get cleaned or something. It's pretty. There's one thing about paintbrushes. If you don't take care of them, you gotta make them, some people leave them sitting in the water. And I used to never, ever do that. You always took them out of the water, because it would, if you don't have a point on your paintbrush, you can't make a nice little petal on a leaf. And
Mine kind of got offline there.
I have not had that one. I think I just need to clean that up. I didn't like that one. So, it's gone.
Magic eraser. I think that one up there's a little off too. So.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with that myself. I was trying to make do with a paintbrush that's not too in good shape.
Renee says she's not good to her paintbrushes.
Well, when I first learned, the lady that taught us, she said, you never ever leave them in the water. You never leave them in the water. You take them out and you clean them, but you don't just leave them on, you know, it's not so bad to put these kind in the water and let them sit there. But obviously, if you've got a paintbrush that's a very thin line, or to make a very thin line, and you have left it in the water, then it curls the end of it, and you don't have a nice thin line anymore. You want your paintbrush to be very pointed, like it's brand new. I think I'm just gonna repaint that. I don't like any of that. So I'm just gonna go back over that with that little band of gray.
Is that one there any better?
Well, it is. Bring me that whole can that has the paintbrushes. So I do try, but I didn't get these cleaned in time, and
Both of these, we've got some smaller
Yeah.
brushes in them.
yeah, these are very good here. This is a good one. It's just not my favorite. That was my favorite, and I let it get bent. But I'm just going to go back over that line. I remember the first time I painted, I was just a young lady, and I washed my paintbrush out the only way I knew to wash it out, and my brushes got hard and had all, a little bit of paint in them, and basically they were ruined, and I was going to have to buy a new set. And I just remember being so disappointed and wondering, how in the world do you clean brushes if you I tried to clean them, but I didn't. I didn't clean them well enough, and I didn't have any paintbrushes when I came back to class. So I guess I bought some more, but I remember being very disappointed. All right, I repainted that little band, little silver thing and I'll see if this paintbrush is any better, because that one is messed up. Maybe this one would have been better, but it needs cleaning too. This is the one Bethany likes to use. And I'll just see if I do better. Sometimes I can make a nice straight skinny line, and other times not so much. I'm not trying to make it unbroken. But I do want it to be straight. So it's more in moving your arm than in moving your hand. Don't move your hand, just move your arm. That better?
That's better.
My bad. I like that better. See, when you make a mistake, you just paint back over it and go back at it again. But it does take a good paintbrush to make a straight line. You can't have a bent end. And if you are interested in doing classes, a virtual class with us on brush strokes, you need a good, they're not expensive, they're just the same ones, but you gotta keep those, especially ones that are skinny and have a longer brush on the end. You gotta make sure that they are not left in the water, because they get bent.
Oh, that's cute.
You approve?
Mm-hmm.
Was it Carla that wanted a pattern?
Yeah,
Can you
Harless asking about a pattern.
put this one on block poster onto the website?
I can do that. It's already on blog poster.
But you can put it on our
But I
website.
need to upload it. I may have to email it.
It will be
Yeah, you still email it.
ready soon.
Yeah, it's already created on blog poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if she wanted to, yeah, it's already up.
Yeah, I knew you already made it, but it's not on our website yet.
I'm glad you like it, Miss Carla.
But it doesn't have roses printed on it. It only has the shape and the design, like this and this, that. But the roses are freehanded. But you can do that. You can.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to talk and draw lines.
Yeah, and that part will be cut out.
I think I'm gonna put a little black.
A little bit more on your flowers, huh?
Just a little squiggle of that black. What do y'all think?
Yeah, and I think once Dad cuts that out, I think you might could even add another little flower like right here, just a portion of one.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be good. I even thought about one down here.
I have to thank Shannon for giving us the idea.
Well, she's been watching. She
Hey, Shannon.
approved.
If you're still there.
I don't know that if she's still here. She's probably taking care of boys. I know what I didn't do. I didn't add to these leaves, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of spring.
She asked. She said, "Yes, I did." I don't remember what she did, or what the question was. But she said, "Yes, I did." But then she said, "What part is cut out?"
What we haven't cut out, it is drawn on the pattern where to cut it out, but I didn't. My nose itches. This part right here will be cut out all the way down to the bottom of the bowl. And the handles.
And back up, right? Down to the bottom of the bowl and back up?
Back up to here, and outline of the...
I meant on the other side.
And then all the way back up to here.
Yeah.
Both lines.
Yeah, like that.
All of that piece.
Yeah, both of those.
And then that.
And the 2 handles.
And that. But it is on the pattern. That's already on the pattern. He just didn't... I didn't cut it out. I didn't cut out the paper part right, and so he didn't.
I'll take it together. We'll show you the paper pattern.
Yeah, we'll show it to you. It is correct.
The thing that about the paper pattern is these lines are wide. Like for instance here, which of those lines do you cut on?
Whichever one you wanted it.
Well, only one of them matches up to yours, and that's the outside one. You put the inside in, it's off.
Well, so cut around the outside edge, not the inside edge.
There's some scissors.
Yep.
Did it? Oh, I didn't finish the black down there.
Are there some scissors over there?
I don't know. I don't know where they are. Oh, now I know what I was doing. Okay, one more thing, and I'm gonna use my angled brush, and I'm gonna put a little bit of this spring green, and I'm gonna go around the edge of my leaf. Maybe not spring green. How about, no, those are both the same colors. How about English ivy green? As that spring green is lighter than the color I already done. So I'm going to outline those now. And I'm going to...
Do I cut this side of it, Dad? I'll leave the black showing.
And if you get too much of that, like I did, then you just wet it. Wet your brush without
I'll
any
leave the
paint.
black part showing.
Without any paint. And go back through and thin that out. So another little dip of the English ivy green, and I'm just putting a little shading right down the edge of it. just to give it a little extra, a little bit more color in my leaf. And 2 more. And I think we're about to wrap this up.
Getting close.
I do thank y'all for watching. If you're watching for the first time, please go to our Facebook page, Whimsical Art Painting Parties, and follow us on Facebook. And we paint every Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock
Central
Time. And we would love for you to join us. If you have any questions, if you need any information about our business, you can send us a message. Oh, Carla, here it is, all taped together in good order.
Wait a minute, let me zoom out or where you can see. That's just, and it's about probably 22 inches or something like that.
So they can see where yours.
So you can see where this has got to be cut out.
She said it's awesome.
And
The handles.
the handles to your 2 containers.
And then the blue center.
This down here. But I didn't cut it out properly, and I left it for him to cut out, and he cut it out like I drew it.
I
Or
did.
I gave it to him, which was a good thing.
But yeah, I'll try to get that on the website tomorrow.
Give me the pewter gray.
Pewter gray.
Pewter gray. I'm gonna put one more thing right here. That needs some shading.
I like it. Approve.
We should go and make some cookies. Brownies. You have the baking bug. I'm going to go around the edge of this with pewter gray. Good night, boo.
Good night.
So I'm dipping it in water, and I'm dipping just the long corner of my paintbrush, and then I'm going up the side with that. One side has no paint on it, just water. I mean, it's all wet, but there's only paint on one side, and that just gives it a highlight, a shade of this gray. So when you're doing this, be sure not to flip your brush over to the wrong side, or your dark gray will be, an inch inside, and that's not right. And if it looks like just a line, it's because it's wet. But when that dries, then just your outer, the dark gray will be the only part that shows. And actually you can add that also to this other thing here, where it's also silver, and then you can do that up here. I guess you can do it down there on that other part, but I think I would use a different, not the dark gray, but make sure you got enough water on it, because if you don't, it's just going to paint it. It's not going to float the paint on. And, when we were saying at the beginning that I haven't painted, and, I took a break for probably 20 years while I was doing some other work, and I was able to pick it back up. This is a kind of a muscle memory thing. You learn to do it, and you don't forget. It comes back. A little practice and you're back at it. I'm going to go around the outer edge of this also. Just to give it a little bit of shade and highlights. All right, anybody have any questions? We'll get that on the website. If anybody wants to order that, it'll just be $5. If you want a paper copy, it's $10 and we'll mail it to you.
Yeah, turned out
There you go.
looking good.
We can put a title on it. You can put something right in here.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it for our Mother's Day gift. Be a nice one for somebody's kitchen. Instead of hanging it on the front door, you could hang it in the kitchen or on the pantry door.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll hang on my pantry door, actually. So thank y'all for watching. Please share it. Please like our page. Please follow us on Whimsical Art Painting Parties. And if you want to check out our website, it's whimsicalartpaintingparties.com.
We'll be back on next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Good night.
Good night.